Well, welcome back to our fifth video, and in this video we're going to talk about templates and how to create them and how to apply them to a page that's already created. Also, how to create editable regions. If you're new to templates, you know that you can make an entire site have the same look and feel. It allows you to change one item that affects the entire site. In other words, if you have a new item that you want to add to the menu, you can add it to the template and it will apply it to all the pages. In there, you can have editable regions that apply only to certain pages. So the flexibility is just absolutely phenomenal. So we're going to touch on the basics of templates in here, keep it somewhat simple, and I think you'll find it very, very, very educational. So, and helpful as well, obviously. So let's open up the design, which we have. I'm going to deviate a little bit from the book for better practices, but it's really the same thing that we're going to be doing in here. So the very first thing it wants us to do is be in design mode if you're not in design mode. And then we have the links. Now, I've already created the links here. So what I did was for each link, I just selected the item. And what I did then is just point to file. So for each one, about, design, and that, I've already done that. So that just to save a little bit of time, so you can do that as well. Then what you're going to do here is, let me click on here and get rid of that point to. So you want to do about, it's going to go to about, traveling exhibits is going to go to traveling exhibits, and permanent exhibits is going to. Now let me just show you a little bit about how the nav is set up. More than likely, you're always going to be using list items to do that. Here we have them in paragraph, and either way is okay, but normally the preferred way is to enclose them as list items in an unordered list, which allows you to format the entire unordered list. Here we'll probably do it through the nav, but for right now we'll just leave it as that. Okay, so what we're going to do now, I've also deleted the placeholders in the main copy and sidebar section. So that's just done to save a little bit of time in here. So now let's go into the CSS designer and let's go and change some of the properties of the footer, which is right here and you can barely see it. So let's go to CSS designer and let's go to footer. And the very first thing we're going to do is change the text color to white. And easy way to change it to white is just drag this up. And now you can actually see it. I've also done the site design by against the clock in there, just again to save a little bit of time on the video. So I'll give you a second to change that. We've already changed the placeholder text to white. Now I do want to show you something else I've done is I put a P tag in here. So what I did was when I went into code view, I actually typed it in code view. Then I went into design view and hit the enter key. And that put it in a P tag. It's always best to have everything enclosed in a tag. So that takes care of page 191. And we're going to save everything right now. So everything's good. Now here comes the good part. We're going to save it as a template. This is where I'm going to deviate a little. So I'm going to go into files. And I'm going to go into file. Save as template. Okay, we have no templates already. So over the description, we're going to put museum. Eventually we'll put it when I learn how to spell. Site template. and I'm going to change the name to design. Now I want you to take a look over here. You see site CSS images. Once we create the template, it's actually going to put it in a folder called template. It will have a capital T on it. That I have no control over. That's the way Dreamweaver has been designed. I'm going to change this to museum template. I just think it's a little bit better to have it as the name of the site. However, that can change if you have more than one template. So we're going to click on save and make sure you click on update links and boom. Now notice it already created a template folder for you. It does have that capital T, and then we're going to go to museum template in there. So that is everything in 192. Then we're going to go into the page course in here. And I want to show you one thing as well. If you go into the site definition, and I'm going to do manage sites. I like to do it that way, and edit, and go to advanced, and go to templates. Make sure that don't rewrite relative link paths is checked in there. Make sure, again. So that should already be checked that way. If it's not, then make sure that you check that in there. All right, so we're good to go over here. I'm on the top of page 193. We're going to go into code view, and look what it's done. It's given us a green thing that says begin editable time, end editable, begin editable head, end editable, and that's about it. Now it knows it's a template because it's got a DWT extension. Anything that's editable is going to allow you to edit. Anything that right now is not going to allow you to edit it. So you'll see that in a minute when we start trying to do the about and change anything in there. All right, so right now we have this saved in here. We can close that. Actually, we can't close it. So we're going to change the name to the Getty Foundation. Of the template, and I do not spell very good. And then we're going to click on an editable region. We're going to actually make it over here. So what we're going to do here is click on the insertion point in the main copy. So here's main copy. And let's go into code view, and you can see that we have that selected over there. Doesn't have anything in it. And what we're going to do here is you can go and do things many different ways. You can go to insert and click on templates here. And then here is an editable region. I kind of like to leave the HTML here and go to insert. And there's a template section in here, and then just go editable region. So then you're going to name the editable region, and it says page content. That allows you to edit things that are inside it. So if you click on this page content here and go into code view, you can see it created a begin editable region name equals page content. Everything in here is a section ID, and then you have the end of it in here. So that's 193. Now, one of the things we're going to do here is we're going to move it manually. I'm really a big fan of making separate editable regions, but either way is okay. So what they want you to do is move this tag over here. To right here. And I'll hit the enter key. I'll get rid of this. Now let's go back into design view and click on page content. And you can see that it is now consisting of both of them. Normally, I would make two separate editable regions. Either way is okay. That just happens to be my personal preference of the way I do things. So I have that saved. I'm doing a lot of this by memory, so hopefully I'm not missing anything. So now we don't really need this template anymore. Let's open up the About. And you can see what I was talking about is in number 3 of 195. Make sure you don't rewrite. The option is checked in here. So we're going to go and open up About. And I'll go into design view. Now this is a little bit differently. We're not going to use the insert. We're going to use the tools. So on the top of page 196, it says click on tools. And then we're going to go templates. And we want to apply the template to the page. And you can see you have extra options as well. So what template do we want to do? We want to do the museum. And we're going to have a little problem, which we're going to resolve very easily. Now, when you click on update page, make sure this is checked over here. I'm not a big fan of having pages and then applying templates, but the book wants to show you how to do it. I'm a big fan of creating the template first from an index file and then creating the pages from that. There is really no right way or wrong way, but by doing this, we're going to run into an editable region problem, so I will show you what's going to happen. So now it's telling us we don't have anything, document body not resolved. So we're just going to click on this here, and we're going to move content to page content. Click on OK, and boom, that takes care of everything. Now, that only works because you have it already set up the way the design was set up. So you have to be very careful on that. So we're going to do the same thing with the other ones. So we'll go to Tools. We're going to Templates, Apply Template to Page, which one? Update Pages is checked. Go down here, Page Content, click on OK, and boom. And last is Traveling Exhibits. So we're going to go, now these are anchors, by the way, which you're going to learn about. So we will go to Tools, Templates, Apply Template to Page, which one? Select, let's fix this, and boom. All right, so now we're good. Now, if we go into About anything here, notice that you cannot change anything, but you can here. That's because this means it's editable. This is editable. Nothing else is editable. So that'll stop people from your site from changing anything. So we're going to go down and notice the foot's not changed. The footer you cannot access in here. So I'm going to save everything. And let's go into the code. And you can see it's applied the template museum template over here. And so on. This is good here. This is all good. So you can edit the Getty Foundation from here. So let's go to About. And we're going to edit it. I'm going to do it here. And we'll just change it to About the Getty. Okay, we don't need it anymore, so let's save it. As soon as I find my mouse, which is here. And we can close that. And then we will change the other pages as well. So now we have the Getty Foundation, and this is Traveling Exhibits. So not, okay, so it's traveling exhibits, and we'll do it here again. We can save this. Permanent exhibits. Let's just do this in code view. So we'll go to here, the Getty Foundation. And permanent exhibits. Don't hit the enter key, just click somewhere else. You may have to click on refresh. And now we're done. Save everything, and we'll close these two files. So the last thing to do is take a look at page 199. You want to understand the templates. Nested templates you're not going to normally do too often, but you may want to put a specific template inside a section or div tag that could only affect that. Obviously, editable regions. Optional editable regions allow you to determine whether or not the region is going to apply to it. And we're going to leave everything else right now. We talked about apply template to page. There's also detach template to page. Before you do either apply template to page or detach template, make sure that you save the file and copy it to something else, so that way you are in good shape. Then take a look at the rest of those things, and they're very self-explanatory, and as we progress more, we'll be using each and every one. All right, so that's it for this video. Have a good day. We'll pick up on page 200.